Hey, experts listeners. I want to key you into something that we do very special here at Ops Experts Club, and that's a masterclass. We have a free masterclass called Foundations That Scale. And the great thing about this masterclass is it's for operation professionals who are growing businesses. One of the most dangerous things you can do as an operator is grow businesses on a foundations that's not stable. So in this particular masterclass, we take apart all of the inside pieces of your team, your tech, and how they're using time. And we make sure that you're building on a foundation that's stable. So if you want to check out a great masterclass completely for free, go to foundationsthatscale.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome to the Ops Experts Club with Aaron, Terryn, and Savannah. This podcast will take you behind the scenes of some of the finer details of multi-million-dollar companies. These ops experts have dealt with operations for scaling companies and well-established businesses with anywhere from small to large teams. If you've ever been deep into the details of a major company, then you know how much it takes, and these conversations are just for you. Welcome to the Ops Experts Club podcast.
Ops Experts Club. Yeah. Terryn, it would serve us well. And I'm just going to task you with this. If you feel so inclined, don't have to do it. Tell me no if you're going to do it. But like, we need a little jingle, just a little jingle on the front of this thing. And if you could come up with a little jingle, that'd be so cool.
I could jingle jangle.
I just asked for a jingle. You went up to me and added a jangle, and that would be legit.
Yeah. I'll come back next week with a jingle jangle.
I love it. Thank you for that. Hey, great to see you, Ops Experts. Thanks for tuning in today. Great to have you with the legendary Terryn Turner and myself. Terryn, any cool, quick farm stories that you could tell us that happened on the farm this week? What did we do this week? Did you get to move the tractor? Did you get to push a bunch of gravel? Did you get any new barn life, like livestock, whatever you do on ranches?
No, it was more of a personal weekend finally, which was nice. But we got our first double 24 eggs in a day.
Look at that. Do you sell them or do you eat them? How do you eat that many eggs if you eat that many? Just curious.
Well, you just make a big batch of scramble and you snacking on it all day.
Look at you. Do you eat all your own eggs?
No.
Okay, I'm going to say you're amazing.
No, we sell them.
I love that. Dude, Terryn, you are one of the most, like, if you're wondering how to be frugal and how to make money on every square inch of your property, Terryn Turner is your man. I encourage you, go check out, what's his blog? What's the blog that you're supposed to be watching for on Instagram?
It's not a blog these days. Sure. It's just social media. It's Delphi Valley Farm.
Delphi Family Farms. If you want a blog, maybe just a video log, maybe he's going to start dropping them that way. Maybe you never know. 24 eggs. You want to see what that looks like? Terryn, I encourage you to drop that video.
Yep.
Okay, we're 1 minute, 44 seconds into nonsense. So let's jump into the topic. Terryn, I thought it would be a good thing for us to talk about today, growing pains and when does it become time to audit? Nobody likes that, right? I've noticed about most visionaries, they do not like to look at something messy, like especially if it has their name on it, right? So they just kind of divert their eyes. They don't really want to look at that. They just want to pretend it's not going on. Let's just focus on the good things. And maybe a lot of visionaries, I think that's sales, right? Their marketing's performing or they're selling, right? Because they feel good as money's coming in. But there's part of the farm, if you catch my ranching analogy, part of the farm that you still need to keep an eye on. And I would suggest bringing somebody in to audit you every once in a while. So it's not just your people who can tell you what you want to hear and you're not going to want to look at. You want somebody that's just going to come in and audit some features. So I thought we could talk today about experience we've had with different visionaries, different businesses who've brought in just opportunities to battle test whatever it is that they're in the middle of for the sake of best results. And then somebody that's going to provide good solutions who can help them work those out.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a classic stretching and growing pain of businesses as you're, increasing in your size and your level and where you're at in this world too, is you kind of collected people, you've collected subscriptions, you've collected problems, you've trusted the wrong people.
Right.
Who knows what you don't even know other than somebody else you can bring in with fresh eyes.
I think, Terryn, you see that all the time with technology, right? I feel like every new account we come into and they've had like multiple fractional people or multiple different entities that have managed technology over time. And you're like, yeah, I don't know what half those tags are. I don't know what half those sequences do. I don't know what half those, didn't we I think it was last year about this time we kicked over one for a client where they had been outlaying thousands and thousands of dollars to a vendor that nobody was even managing anymore. They weren't even providing any services. We were just like, they were just being paid because nobody knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing. And they were afraid to make the cut, to make the call. Isn't that how it works with technology?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a technology vendor. Wasn't even being utilized anymore.
So I think there's obviously technology is a big one we see, right? Because that's one where usually visionaries also are really big on picking up the hot new shiny thing that their friends talked about at their mastermind. And so they just go subscribe to it. Sometimes they don't even tell their team about it. Or sometimes they do, or sometimes they sign up for it thinking they're going to take advantage of it themselves. Other times maybe there was offered as a promo. And so they did it and then it's turned into a subscription and now they've been paying for it for months. So that's one I think that's like easy cheddar off the top, right? I think that's the one where we can a lot of times really swing in and bring a lot of value to clients is let's just do a technology audit. Like, and the real easy way to do that is let's just look at the bank accounts and the check and the credit
Mhm.
cards and see who's hitting us for what.
Yeah. I love those audits. It's pretty fun just to find out what's been going on and what hasn't been used and what you're paying for. A lot of times, even it's just the wrong tier. You signed up for something thinking you want all the bells and whistles and you're using the generic version. So you just downgrade too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually when I start doing that with somebody, it's not uncommon to start saving a couple grand to plus a month. Just there, right there.
Couple grand that you don't need to make sales on. That's literally your money. We just need to cut some things loose. So I know every month here at the Collab team, Faith, who does all of our bookkeeping, like we'll get on a call and it's a sheet, right? Hey, this is everything that hit the cards this month. And let's like red light, green light. And if I see something that like one of our primaries has maybe taken on a subscription for a client to try and hasten the deadline a little bit faster, because sometimes clients take a long time to get something on. I'll be like, hey, we reach out to Terryn about that and make sure we still need that subscription. And are we still sending out as a reimbursement? Because you can just lose sight of things and then you just begin paying for them. But especially if it's your business and you were a solopreneur and you've moved on into an entrepreneur, there's probably like, no, without exaggeration, 5 to 10 things at minimum. Terryn, would you say that's accurate? 5 to 10 things at minimum that you probably have signed up for over time that you've never doubled back on to ask, do we still need that? Or do we still need that at this level?
hmm Yeah, easily. That's the number. And then also different people running in and out of your business too. They signed up for something and then nobody's using it once they're gone.
Yeah. So much danger in you bring on some new person, they're trying to prove their worth. So they're going to bring a tool that they knew how to use at the previous place they were at that was going to be a great next great big solve. Nobody else on the team has used it. Nobody else on the team knows how it works. And then maybe they don't work out, but it does still work out. That damn subscription that you're falling paying every single month that they did not disconnect when they left and nobody else had visibility into doing it. So I think that technology is a really great place to start for just an audit. And that just looks really simple, right? Have somebody review your bank statements and drop it into a Google sheet and then assign names next to it. Take that back to your next level 10 meeting and say, hey, who owns this? Who owns that? Who owns this? Or push out an email, have them take a first run at it before you get to L10 and then just fill in the blanks once you get there. And you'll be surprised how many come back and they're like, I don't know what that is. Your whole damn team, they don't know what that is. And so it's like, great, that's a great one. Let's cancel that. Let's go through and cancel the. And Terryn, you're a big advocate, I think, too, for, hey, if we break it, somebody's going to let us know. If it's going to have pain point downstream, they'll let us know if it's broken and we can always go back and fix it. But don't just keep something because you're afraid of what might break and continue to be paying on it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's certain things you can cancel and it's not going to mess with day-to-day business. It's pretty obvious if it's being utilized via Zapier or connected to something else. You can search those places. So if you just can't find any evidence it's being used and it's not core to making money or fulfilling or something of an essential business item, just try it out. See who complains.
Yeah, I love it. See who complains. I think another one, Taryn, that I see a lot in the companies that we work with is in the realm of finance. Most visionaries do not like to look at the financials, so they pay somebody else to do the role, right? Which is fine. I get that. It's great. Stay in your lane. Problem is that even if somebody else is doing your bookkeeping and tying off your month end and sending you reports, like somebody needs to be looking at that kind of stuff, and a lot of visionaries, they just don't like to look at it because either they feel stupid, they're insecure because they don't understand how it works. They talk to their financial person. The financial person speaks to them in Japanese, some other language that they don't know, like accounting languages that they don't know. And so they feel too dumb to ask. And so they just continue to push the gas on selling, thinking that's going to overcompensate on what they're paying. And they're going to come out with some profit at the end without asking ourselves, no, like somebody needs to look at that. So I was on with a visionary that just today, and we popped open some of the reports that their financial person has been sending them. And I'm like, that something doesn't look right about that, man. Do you look at these reports? And he got a little sheepish. And this this is 9 out of 10 of visionaries that I work with got a little sheepish and he's like, bro, I don't understand these reports. I don't understand how they work. And I'm like, hey, don't feel bad about that. That's like the majority of visionaries I work with, but you need to find somebody you trust that does understand that, that asks, are those people pushing and pulling the levers the right way to give you an accurate assessment of, are we making money or not? Like, how profitable are we? Because that's all we were trying to get to is a profitability percentage. You know, how profitable is this? But he is not the only one, man. So many guys and some of the highest level entrepreneurs we work with. I just had the same exact conversation last week with one of the biggest names that we work with. And he just was honest. He's like, Aaron, I don't look at those reports. And I think that's scary. Those are big numbers and that's important. And it's important for you to probably have just a third party auditor come in and just take a look at it. Does this make sense? Like, are there things I should be thinking about? And I'm not even saying you have to pay a bunch of money to do that or pay them for their services on the backside, but have somebody spot check that because that's important. It's important that you understand your finances.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do just need that expert, and that's basically what an audit is. It's an expert coming in and looking at things, fresh eyes, more background, more knowledge, and something specific for you. And, hopefully you get an auditor that can also help too. Then we'll just tell you what to do. Maybe they can do it for you as well.
I mean, I do think that is something I really love that we do is that we're able to jump in the boat with people and be like, hey, can I just help you bail water? Like I'm not talking about some new piece of technology I want to roll out for you. I'm not talking about some new fangled way that you have to. I'm just saying you need help. Can I just get in the boat and help you bail water a little bit to get you back up and floating again so you feel good? I think that is something that I really, and not only us, I appreciate when vendors are willing to do that. I'm not just here for a paycheck. I'm going to audit you. Yeah, cut me a check. God bless. Man, I hope that works out. That was really a shitstorm. Yeah, I mean, but somebody that's like, no, I'm going to jump in the boat and I'll help you fix that. I think that's important. Yeah. I think another one, I saw a gap analyzer come back today. So if you haven't checked out our gap analyzer, I feel like it's pretty premier. I think, it's just a way to audit your team. Like, do I have too much team on? Is there too much overlap between team? Are there big gaps on my team? How do I know when I should be hiring or when I should be firing? Gapanalyzer.com. Like we do those day in and day out. But there was a gap analyzer that came in today, 27 people big. And I know this is not like a $10 million company. So I'm like, okay, wait, what's going on over there? And none of them employees, so an ask of, okay, so do we have too much fractional help? Are there too many vendors on the field? Because 27 people is crazy. Like what's going on over there and how much revenue is coming in through that business? And do you need that many hands to do what you're doing? So I think probably somebody that can come in alongside and really look at your team and ask, do we need all these people? I know it's a hard question to ask, but I will say consolidation really is a deal. Like, you've got 27 fractional people. Could you roll them into 8 full-time people and really get more stuff done? Something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, there's always been vendors just sitting on the sidelines. Maybe at this point, they're getting like a very light work when, you first hired them and it could have been pretty heavy. And so we've seen that where we've had to cut a lot of vendors that we've come into and kind of bring things in-house too, as you understand maybe your people now can do these tasks themselves.
Yeah. Because I do think that a lot of times there isn't a very good check and balance on why we hire when we hire. You know what I mean? There's an urgency need. Maybe there's a launch. Maybe there's something big that's happening within the business and we just know we need more hands. You know what I mean? And a lot of times that is the way that we make that decision is the anxiety of who's carrying the load now, right? So maybe they're super stretched, super stressed. And they're like, I just need more help. And so visionary knee jerks and they're like, oh, okay, well, let's go hire somebody. But like, no, take a breath. Let's take a breath. Like, are you talking to the right person? Is that person just the choking point? And we need to think about how can we delegate and elevate some roles off of that person? And if they just got a little more real estate of time, could they feel better? Could we spread that out across other people on the team? But until you inventory everybody that's on your team, you can't know how much time they're using to do the things they're doing. And then once they've documented it, you have something you can really pay attention to. Because sometimes, visionaries I have come back after Gap Analyzer and say, well, I can't imagine it takes that much time, or I can't imagine that's what that person is doing. Well, at least we know what they say they're doing right now. And now we can pay real good attention, both eyes open, because what I found is not very long after Gap Analyzers, people who aren't doing what they're saying they're doing, they fall off because they know now, like it's kind of written in stone, like they've said what they're doing. And as they do not perform the ways they're supposed to perform, that becomes very apparent very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, another place I like to do audits on too is even like customer fulfillment audit.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Just finding out, what's happening after your people purchase, and is it going well? Is it not going well? Is it as expected? What can we do to improve it? I mean, that's the life of business, is the customer right after they purchase. So what's happening there?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked with clients and no names will be named, but we've worked with clients where like they've hamstrung so many versions of this thing together by now that they've got like one page pointing to a different page and a different funnel that's adding a tag that's been used for who knows how long. And then a juke is made in the middle of it. So then a different tag is added, but then we didn't think through the whole downstream of everything that's going to come off the back of that tag. And is it like still wired up the right way? And like crazy hodgepodge, like Frankenstein things together. And then we wonder why people aren't having a good customer experience. I think absolutely sending somebody through your funnel, top to bottom. Like, and what's it? I'm not going to say that analogy because I'm going to soup to nuts or whatever it is. Like, as far as like, let's go through and like, make sure everything is all worked out of opt-in to showing up to giving their yes to what are they getting on the backside and what accesses are they granted and are they being added into the right places and did they get the right fulfillment? Like have somebody go from door to door. And I would say not one of your own people, because like they probably are plenty busy. What if you just hired somebody from the outside just to say and said, hey, will you do me a favor? Will you funnel hack my funnel? Will you just go through and I'll give you a code so you can go through and you can, go get through the checkout and just battle test this thing for me. Tell me things you see,
Mm-hmm.
because your eyes have probably gotten old. There are some generational things that are in there that it makes a lot of sense to you, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to everybody. And it's good if you can find somebody that understands how the business moves in an online space. Like, I know your stuff, your secret sauce is important, and have them sign a non-disclosure. That's fine. But like it's not that much different than everything else that's out there when it comes to operationally how it should be fulfilled. So let's make sure that we're really thinking that through, because
Mm-hmm.
there's probably a reason you're fighting disputes. There's probably a reason you're fighting refund requests. And let's look at that both eyes open. Super smart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And that brings you to the kind of the next step too, is, are you even collecting all the money you can? What are you leaving on
Yes.
the table? And we work with marketers that's kind of their specialty is, I can help you find missing money just based on what you're not asking your customers in their journey.
So good. So good. There's probably two prongs to that, right? There's like, what more money could you be asking for? And then what money aren't you collecting, right? Because I think if you're not following up on your failed payments, like, is there a whole repository of cash that if you just put somebody on top of chasing failed payments or chasing like opportunities that they gave you their card declined or whatever it was, like, is there a whole repository of cash that could be collected if you just said, hey, this is your one job, and that is you chase faileds, whether that's on the front end of their buying or if that's on payment plans downstream. Like, let's put somebody on retention of faileds. So new concepts that could win you new money and even generational money that should be yours. They've already given you their yes, but you haven't followed up on making sure that it's hitting the bank.
Yeah. Yep. What
I would say,
audits you like doing?
I think probably just in summary, like as we're thinking through audits, a couple of high points that I would point out is there are no sacred cows. Be really careful of sacred cows. Like we always do this because we've always done this. Like this is just the way because we know it's the best way, instead of no. Let's let somebody come in with some fresh eyes and ask us some questions, poke some holes. I love that most about when I first come into a client. What I tell the Collab team all the time when we pick up a new high level retainer is, hey, what are the 3 best, fastest wins that we can have? Like, what are the highest burns? What's the redheaded stepchild? No pun against redheads here, but like, what's the redheaded stepchild that like just needs to be addressed that everybody's been avoiding? That's like the one thing in the room that everybody just like steps sideways and just sidesteps when it comes their direction. No, let us tackle that and let's solve that. So I would say like fresh eyes and no sacred cows, like no, all, gloves off. Like, let's figure out what's the problem here in my organization and let's fix it. I think that's one of the biggest ones. So no sacred cows. I think also don't make changes just to make changes for change's sake. I mean? Like, have a very good reason why you're moving to a new CRM platform, because that's a hell of a lift. So make sure that your CRM isn't the right size, isn't the right level, isn't the right whatever, and have some very good reasons, and not just one person that's telling you that, but battle test that by a couple people. Hey, I was told this, this, and this. Is that accurate? Like, let's get some like second opinions on things. Don't just make changes to make changes, and be careful of whoever's encouraging you to make changes. Is there an agenda behind that? Is that because that's going to ensure their job? Is that because you're going to have to pay them extra to roll out some new platform? Like
Mhm.
find trust that are really bent on this solution should make your business better. What are the other like take homes, Terryn, that you would give beyond no sacred cows and don't make changes just to make changes?
Wow. Don't be too afraid to start. I know sometimes you're scared of what you might uncover,
Yeah.
but just do it.
Especially if you have big goals, right? Like some people like, maybe your goal isn't to scale, and that's fine. Not everybody has to scale. If you're happy doing what you're doing, you're happy at the level that you're at, that's fine. But if you want to scale, you're going to find what's broken really fast. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
would say, like, let's do some battle testing. Let's stress test this thing before we put 100 people on that bridge. Like, let's make sure that bridge is going to hold up because we don't want the liability of that bridge coming down with 100 people on it. Like, let's do some stress testing. Let's battle test it, especially if you want to scale. And I think a lot of people come into the beginning of the year and they're like, our annual goal is this. But it's like, if that's our annual goal, there is no way that our infrastructure now is going to bear that. So there's a whole subsection of questions on that. That sounds great as a sales goal, but realize there should be economies of scale, right? So if we're going to multiply our sales by 3x, then the amount of support that needs to go into supporting 3x sales needs to be considered as well. And I'm all for like the AI, and I'm all for all of the things you can get for the cheapest version of that, maybe overseas like labor that you can get to help you with part of that. But make sure you have a battle plan before you get out there and try and 3x your sales and realize you have massive breakage on the backside because your system can't bear it. So auditing isn't a bad thing. It's something that's saving you the pain downstream.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, Terryn Turner, it has been an honor to talk farm life with you today. 2 dozen eggs. I mean, kudos to you for hitting that milestone. That's what'd you call it? Daily double? It's like a daily double.
Yeah. The double dozen
Double,
day.
dude, that should be the new name of the podcast. Anyway, so double dozen day. Welcome on the DDD. And ops experts, I hope you found some value in today of thinking through audits, thinking through people that you can trust. And if you ever want trust, just know Ops Experts loves to do that. Ops Experts Academy is a great place to start. We also would love to come in alongside of you and help audit anything you need help with auditing. So,
Yep.
Terryn Turner, hope you have a great day, Ops Experts. We'll see you next week
Sure.
here on Ops Experts.
Thank you for tuning in to the Ops Experts Club podcast. New episodes available every week on Spotify, iTunes, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. If you're curious about how some of the biggest names in entrepreneurship have scaled their businesses to the next level, check out some of our best content on this topic by going to foundationsthatscale.com. You can find the link in our bio and do your part to improve as an ops expert.